You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 427 for Sunday, the 2nd of October, 2022.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. So this week's show, oh my word, we are talking cruising. We are talking Disney Cruise Line to be precise. And I have with me my first time Disney Cruise Line buddy, Anthony Markham. Hello and welcome.
Hello, Michelle. Good to talk to you again.
I'm missing you. I'm missing you.
Yes. How was it a month ago? We were out on the ocean on my first Disney cruise.
It just feels surreal. In some parts it feels like it was yesterday. In some parts it feels like it was years ago.
Indeed. Busy few weeks, but it'll be good to relive these memories with you.
Cannot wait, and to share all of our wonderful activities and adventures we did on our 7-night cruise on the Western Caribbean itinerary with Disney Cruise Line. So exciting. But pre-cruise, we had a little bit of fun at Mickey's Not So Scary.
Yes, we did. I had previously been in 2019. I'd say this is now that these type of parties are back. It truly feels like everything's back to normal with the parks.
It was wonderful, I must admit. It was a really good night, apart from the rain. But hey-ho, it's August, it's Florida. What did we expect?
Yes, and from what I see, other people have had huge downpours and they've missed the fireworks and they've missed the shows and they've missed the parade. We still got to see everything. It just took a little bit longer.
And for you, what a highlight of the evening was to see your favourite show on the castle stage.
Yes, the Villain Spectacular. Oh, I do love that show. Not only just from the pyrotechnics and just seeing the performers, but it's one of the few stage shows now that they're actually doing live vocals, which I think adds another level of enjoyment to it.
I must admit, we got an absolutely sensational viewpoint right in front of the castle, and it was sensational. I'd never seen it that close up, and heaven knows how we managed to wangle that, but we did.
Yes.
Then we went back to our accommodation over at the very luxurious beach club, had a few hours sleep, and then we were up and we had that delicious breakfast at Cape May.
Yeah, that was another first for me. Just based on the food quality, that's one place I would definitely repeat. I understand that character meals are coming back, so it may be a little bit pricier in the future, but oh my gosh, food quality, variety, excellent service. I would highly recommend that one.
We had a blast, an absolute blast. And then we drove down to Port Canaveral to get onto the ship. And how excited were you driving along and you saw the beast of the fantasy?
Oh my gosh, just seeing it there in the distance, I'm pretty sure I screamed out loud. And of course you want to take pictures, but I'm driving, so I can't. But we have talked about it for seemingly a year and a half, and just to finally be there in that moment. Of course, we had the nervousness about the pre-testing requirements, but it was finally going to happen.
We had both tested negative. We were able to get on board. Actually, we didn't park first. We pulled up curbside. They checked our port arrival time. A lovely porter took away our luggage. Mm-hmm. We parked the car and then we went in for the pre-boarding experience. And that literally flew by. It was like 20 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't take long at all. I was expecting a lot more. And lots of families had to go there and test. So it seemed like we were going to have a lot longer wait, but we didn't.
And we got on board the ship, and how giddy were we to be welcomed on board by that overexcited cast member with the microphone, the Markham and Young family.
Oh my gosh. And then you step 15 feet and boom, there's your first character. Here's Goofy waving down at you from the balcony and that beautiful atrium with that chandelier. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's definitely the best getting on board a ship experience I've ever had.
The one thing that Disney does really, really well is the entrance, because you just feel so welcome. There's the cast members there cheering you and screaming and clapping hands, and everyone's there looking around with their eyes wide open because you just don't know where to look. These characters, these beautiful chandeliers, this paintwork, this gold leaf, it's like overload for the senses.
Indeed. And then, of course, then you want to scurry around and see everything immediately. You were my guide, so that was great.
We went for lunch.
As you do, you need a snack.
And I will say, the initial first Cabanas experience was not great.
Yeah, it was kind of a cluster.
I just thought, oh my word, this is not the way I want my cruise to start with, Anthony. It was like people sandwich. There were everywhere, and it seemed to me that the entire population of Florida was in Cabanas trying to get the club crawls.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was okay. It was our only experience that was really like that the whole time, so that was okay. We did check out the beautiful Senses Spa, though.
That was a bit of a hard sell, though, wasn't it?
It was kind of a push. It was beautiful to see, though, because and I'm glad we did it, because obviously we didn't pursue that option. But it was gorgeous in there.
Oh, such an amazing space. Just to have a look around and see the rainforest rooms, and then that they have these hot tubs that you can sit in with beautiful views out to the ocean. Oh.
And those chairs, the warm stone chairs that face directly out into over the ocean. Oh my gosh.
But alas, our pennies did not allow it, did it?
No, but we had plenty of other wonderful experiences. Yes.
You actually went back virtually every day and used the gym. So what was the experience there for you?
It's interesting how it progressed. The crowd thinned out over the course of the week. It's a nice space, has lots of equipment. I think the space needs to be a little bit larger, I must say. It's a little bit packed in there, and with a lower ceiling, it tended to get kind of warm and steamy in there. The staff was friendly. The equipment was easy to use. I enjoyed my few moments up there every morning. It started my day off.
Few moments? You were gone for like 2 hours.
Yeah, that's okay. I had a lot of food to work off.
Oh boy, and we will get to the food in a moment. I just want to continue with your impressions of the ship in comparison to your previous experiences with Royal Caribbean. Do you think that the cruise ship itself had all the facilities that you needed?
Oh yes, definitely. I really appreciated the adult spaces, given that we were traveling without children. That's one thing I'd kind of feared going on a Disney cruise, is being what's the right word, overrun with children. But that was not the case at all. Beautiful design. As this was my first Disney experience, I was surprised at how easy it was to learn the layout of the ship. You have the same basic concepts. Rooms on the periphery, central entertainment spaces always tend to be more towards the middle of the ship or on the middle decks. So it didn't take long at all to really get in the flow.
Absolutely. And the fact that they have 3 banks of elevators, whether you're front, mid or aft, really did help as well.
Yes, that was nice. There were 2 quite close to our room, actually.
That was another plus of booking that room.
Yes, you did a good job, Shelley.
I try my best. So we wandered round on our first day, and eventually it was time to go into the room. What were your thoughts about the accommodation?
Oh my gosh, it seemed so huge. We had your bed, and then my convertible bed, and then I loved having the separate shower and toilet area. That was very helpful for us as we got ready. Mm-hmm. Lots of closet space, actually, too. It seemed like we both had a full closet.
Well, somebody did bring 2 suitcases of clothes.
Spoiler alert, it's Michelle, guys.
How did you guess?
Of course, the veranda was great. And having that space, it did make your room feel more open. Mm-hmm. I do wish we had kind of enjoyed it a little bit more, but we were so busy doing things.
And that's the thing. We only booked one excursion, but it was non-stop. We never really had a great deal of time where we were in the room to enjoy it. So perhaps on future cruises, that is something that we might both consider, unless the part of the reason of going on the cruise is to have those beautiful views, say like you're going somewhere like Alaska, etc.
I could see like for a transatlantic or something like that, it'd definitely be worth your money just to have an inside stateroom.
Yeah. Then we got into our room, we got unpacked, and before we knew it, it was time to go and have our dining rotations. I love the fact that you get the same serving team, and what a trio we had.
Indeed. Anto and, I can't remember our head server's name.
So we had Anto, who was our assistant server. He was from Indonesia. We had O'Neill. He was from Jamaica. He was our server, and he was so good. And then Yoki was the head waiter. And from past experience, I was a little bit miffed that we never got to see our head waiter until the night that the tips came round. But Yoki came every night to speak with us and make sure everything was up to standard, asking about our serving team, asking about the food. He really did a fantastic job.
He even escorted you to the table one evening, if I recall.
Well, every evening it was either him or Anto that came and met us at the door and escorted me to the table, and that was just a really nice touch. And they really did everything they possibly could to make our experience with regards to dining the absolute best.
Yes, they did. I will agree. And we might as well discuss it now, like the food quality in the main dining. I think for the most part, well above my prior experiences on Royal. Yeah, I was not quite prepared for how great that food was going to be.
As someone who's sailed on the Fantasy on this itinerary before, I was a little bit disappointed that the menus had not changed. They were virtually the same. But it was also a plus point because I could go back and revisit past favourites, because I had very sadly made up an Excel spreadsheet of all the food I wanted to try in the main dining room. But that helped us out in some respects.
Yes, it did help us stay organized, and we had our plan of attack, and we could communicate. If I wanted something and you wanted to try it, or none of us had an interest, or heck, if we both wanted 2 entrees, we did that.
Really? I could have sworn one night I had 3.
I wasn't going to tell on you, dear.
Well, I did get a bit of a reputation with my desire to try out every single dessert with a side sundae, and once I realised they didn't mind me asking for a Mickey bar as an extra dessert on the side with sprinkles on top, that just got ridiculous with the amount of food. It was just fantastic.
Yes.
And the thing I personally liked was the fact that if I saw the meat that I liked, but there was a different vegetable combination or potato service on a different menu, they'd just swap it around and bring it to me how I wanted. And one night I got a steak, and I really wanted it a little bit rarer. They took it away, brought back another one. They were absolutely spot on, and everything that we had was really good. If I have to say, if anything let it down, to me the desserts were not as spectacular as the mains.
Yes, agree. Like, beautiful presentation, but yeah, they were just slightly lacking.
Yeah, but that wasn't a big biggie, because we could go and get ice cream elsewhere or go and get cake elsewhere, and there was also plentiful of desserts available from room service as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which out of the restaurant options of Animator's Palette, Enchanted Garden and Royal Court was your favourite?
Although I love the show element of Animator's Palette, I think I'm going to go with Enchanted Garden, just because, well, the space is beautiful, but our seat was what sold that restaurant for me. Being so close right there to that fountain, the beautiful unobstructed view, and we were near a walkway, so it didn't feel too cramped. So that was probably my favorite. What about you?
I would totally agree with you there, because we were right next to where there's like a canopy of beautiful flower lights, and through the progress of the evening the lighting went from full daylight to sunset, and to see that happen and transition just really was so beautiful.
Yes, I truly did enjoy that space.
We also, away from the main dining room, had a brunch experience at Paolo. What did you think to that?
Wow. I mean, you had you had told me about it, but words don't really describe how divine that food was. Number one, the level of service, just the variety of food options you had, and that view where we're just both facing out right into the ocean. It was divine. That's a must do.
So I'm going to be really nerdy and go into the details.
Yes, please.
We had a fantastic server called Domenico. He was from Italy, and I could just listen to his voice all day because his accent was just so calming and reassuring. He knew everything about every single item, and the first thing he brought us was this mountainous pastry plate with the croissant, the Nutella bread, the blueberry muffin, the fruit tart, and then we had flatbreads, and there was one, oh my word, with blue cheese, which was just to die for.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that focaccia. Yes.
And if we would have wanted anything again, he would have brought it. He was that amazing. We had the option of going through the meats and cheese antipasti or the seafood. I believe you got the seafood one.
I did. I'd never seen a antipasti plate with seafood before, but it was a nice option for me to have since I don't do a lot of pork and red meat.
And I recall you saying at the time that you loved the tuna. The preparation was absolutely amazing.
Yes, the spice on it.
I know.
Now I'm getting hungry again.
We both opted for the famous tomato basil soup, which was amazing.
Yes, indeed. Like, you think, oh, it's tomato soup, but no. Oh my gosh, the flavors. You could tell that everything was fresh.
And then my research paid off, because there's a section on the menu with flatbreads, but the flatbread we got was not on the menu. But I asked for it, and we got it.
Who would have thought grape and gorgonzola would have paired so well?
Top tip, guys, if you go into Paolo, ask them for the gorgonzola and grape flatbread. We got 8 slices, very shareable. It was so delicious.
It makes me, I still haven't tried to make it at home, but I need to.
Absolutely. I'm going out today and I'm going to get a smorgasbord of cheese and just sit and eat cheese and grapes and imagine they're on a sort of pizza base. We both had a waffle.
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm. You had did you have the fruit? You had the strawberry.
Yeah, I had the strawberry.
And I had the apple, yes. I do believe I preferred your topping more so than mine, but it was still delicious. It was a Mickey waffle. Come on.
And we had the ability to mix and match. We had a little of each other's, and then we went on for the mains. And your main, I think, was one of the highlight dishes of the whole trip, wasn't it?
Yes, that ravioli. Oh my gosh. Such a simple presentation, but wonderful. But then you had the classic chicken parmesan.
Oh, and you wanted to steal on my risotto rice with it.
I had some excellent risottos over that week, but that one, the best ever.
By this point, our stretchy pants were very stretched.
Yes.
And we had a bit of a pause, and we had our alcoholic beverage, which you get complimentary with the Paolo meal cost. But then we came to trying to decide the desserts. So we decided to take Domenico up on his offer and have all 6.
Yes, for research. It was research. We
did
had to
it
do
for
it.
The listeners. We did it for you guys so that you don't have to. You can just order 6 of the one that we thought was the best.
And which one was that for you, dear?
Oh, well, shall I do a countdown from 6 to 1 with 1 being our most favourite?
Yes, indeed. Go for it.
There was a pistachio cake, and neither of us really liked that.
No.
There was a chocolate raspberry bar, which was nice, but we knew it just wasn't right.
But it was beautiful, though.
It was so pretty.
Yes.
Then we had a panna cotta with raspberry thyme sorbet. And I think that raspberry thyme sorbet, if they would have bought that in a bucket, I would have literally just slurped it all down because that little bit of thyme just made it so amazing.
Yes, that was delightful. That panna cotta. No, thank you. I just don't enjoy panna cotta, but hey, it's a personal preference.
Now, number 3 is something I normally refer to as slop in a cup, which is tiramisu.
Yes.
I must admit though, guys, that tiramisu, it was really good. And to say it's only at number 3, it just goes to show what the top 2 desserts, how amazing they were. Because
Yes.
not a fan of tiramisu, I was a fan of this one.
Agree. Same. Still a grade A dish. Yes.
Now, number 2 was something that you were raving about even 3 days later.
Yes.
It was the olive oil cake with orange and grapefruit.
Oh my gosh. Like, I had never had an olive oil cake before. I'd seen it on menus, and I thought, there's always other flashier things. And so this was the perfect opportunity to try it. Oh my word. So flavorful, so moist. And the grapefruits with it. Delightful.
And as someone who hates olives, I can't even bear to look at them on the supermarket shelf without feeling a bit nauseous. This cake, oh my word, it was just divine. It was so beautiful. But our top favourite dessert,
Yes.
seriously, I have never had something as divine as this. It was the lava cake with espresso ice cream. Oh,
What a delicious pairing. Oh my gosh.
now, I was nearly tempted to say, can I have a different ice cream flavour? But I thought, do you know what? The chef's got so much more experience than me. Let's have it as it's presented. And I'm so glad he did because that espresso ice cream was literally silk in the mouth.
Oh, and such a good compliment to the chocolate flavor.
Perfect.
Yes.
We adored that. I think literally we left Paolo waddling after our 2.25 hour experience. It was amazing. And I'm so glad we got to experience the more fine dining element of a brunch. Now, seems we're talking food, and I think we'll go into more details on this on our Patreon show. We did also go in Remy and we had the Pompidou dessert experience, but we'll detail that on Patreon. But we did a few little drinky poos tastings as well.
We did. Since Disney doesn't really offer a drink package per se, I do think most of your tasting classes are a good way to have a little alcohol at not a large cost, really.
And another good thing is each one tended to be in a different one of the lounge bars. So you got to go in and see them and sort of get a feel for them without necessarily having, to buy yourself a cocktail.
Right. Yes. Which one of the ones that we did was your favorite?
Oh, gosh. Well, we did mixology and I really, really enjoyed the mixology, and that was in the Skyline Bar. And
Yes.
Amrit explained that the Skyline Bar is predominantly a martini bar. The skyline on the backdrop of the bar area changes every 20 minutes. And he was talking to us about what equipment you need at home to make amazing cocktails. He went through all of that. He explained about the different types of cocktails, whether they be mixed, layered or muddled. And then we had some amazing drinks.
Oh, we did. And I thought that was probably the most informative of the classes that we had, most applicable to what I can do at home. I actually had Omri for another class that I did that you didn't join me for, and he also taught the mojito and caprahena class, where we sampled 3 different types of mojitos, and it's similar beverage from Brazil, the Caprahena.
I loved it, and oh my word, I could have literally had a pint glass of the baby Guinness, which was Kahlua and a Bailey's drink together. Oh, Lord, it was so good.
I think we were both slightly stumbly after that class too, my dear.
Well, somebody managed to get more than his fair share of alcohol, if I remember.
Could be me, yes.
Oh, it was you. I remember.
Yes.
We also went into Pink, the champagne lounge, and we had Eka from Indonesia and Michael and Perla and Kadek, and these were a creative team of 4 that all spoke about different elements on the chocolate and liqueur tasting. And oh my word, what a sensational tasting that was.
Oh my gosh, here again, the quality of the chocolates and the cheese and the wine and the scotch that we sampled. And I was introduced to port for the first time, one of your favorites.
Absolutely, because we had 4 drinks. We had a red wine, which, if I remember rightly, it was a Lassiter Malbec Shiraz mixed Cabernet.
Yes.
And oh my word, it was fantastic. Then we had a port, which was paired with the Parmesan, and that was just like, oh, it really brought out the cheesiness of the Parmesan, the portiness of the fortified wine. Stunning. But with each one, they were giving us all the background detail of how port got its name. Why is it port? How's it made? We had and this is one for Catherine from Diz Down Under, we tried a Mcallen Scotch whiskey, which if you go and buy a shot on board was $41.
For a shot. Oh my gosh.
It was 44.9% proof, and they paired that with a melted chocolate drink. And wow, that was amazing. Like, we could talk for hours about this one because we also had that champagne, which was amazing. And the chocolate we tried, oh Lord, it was the most expensive chocolate that they had on board. The Parmesan wheel came from a $3,000 wheel, and we had this really large chunk. So good, so good. And there were people next to us who left all the chocolate and all the tasting things. Well, put it this way, when the servers came to clear the plates, there was no chocolate left.
I didn't see anything.
I saw nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a really worthwhile trip.
Yes, that was a good choice for us.
We did one excursion, Anthony.
We did. We both conquered, I don't want to say conquered a beast, but we both really wanted to do that after not having been able to do so on previous trips. We did Dunn's River Falls, had a wonderful, wonderful guide, didn't we?
Oh, when you get to Dunn's River Falls, it was a bit of a car crash organising us getting there, because on the way, a lorry had turned over on its side. So instead of it being like an hour and a half drive, it was nearly 3 hours because we got stuck in this almighty traffic jam. So we got there was a bit of confusion. People hadn't read the excursion details, so they were turning up and they didn't have water shoes and they didn't have appropriate clothing. And me and Anthony were looking at them saying, tut, 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 because they were really, you do the research, people.
Just follow instructions, jeez.
Anyway, we got sorted.
Yes.
We put all our things in a locker and we went down to the bottom of the beach and we met our guide. And our guide was the granddad. And I'm not kidding. He must have been in his late 50s. And he was fit as a butcher's dog. He was so speedy.
He would just scamper right up. It was crazy.
Yeah, because climbing up from the sort of like beach up the river over these massive boulders was quite a feat. And this man, I am not kidding, he grabbed my hand and he got me up every single one by literally hauling my behind over every one. He got me there, and otherwise I don't think I'd have managed it. He was amazing, and we gave him a really good tip.
But you know what? He deserved it. He earned it. Yes.
He worked so hard. And as you're climbing, they kept on stopping, and you did a few adventurous things at some of our stops.
Yeah, I did some sliding and some backwards falling, and it was so cool. And on a normal day I might not have done that, but I felt safe and spirit of adventure and all. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
A little tired by the end.
Yeah. Do I remember rightly? While we were on the coach, the one thing that our guide was preoccupied is we had to sign a declaration on an iPad. Then we had to sign a declaration on a piece of paper, basically saying if we died, it wasn't their fault. So that
Yes.
really set us up for a good start.
That's right. Uh, and people wouldn't even sign the freaking iPad. Oh gosh, remember that? That took forever too.
Oh, yeah. And there was this family at the end, because we were running behind and we'd been a lot longer than anticipated. We all quickly scampered off and got changed in the changing room to get into dry clothes to go back on the bus. And this one family who kept us waiting at the beginning of the tour, kept us waiting at the end of the tour, while each and every one of the children had their hair beautifully parted and combed and manicured and whatever. It just was ridiculous because we were waiting literally about 45 minutes for them.
Right. I gave them dirty looks whenever I saw them the rest of the trip.
Yeah, don't blame you. But Dunn's River Falls was an amazing experience, and I am so proud that I climbed it. I'm so happy to have done it with you. It just really made the trip, and I know we didn't have any other excursions, but we did manage to get off the ship and have a ponder around at each port.
Did a little shopping, as you do.
I got 2 Starbucks mugs.
Yes, that was mission accomplished. More mugs.
But I didn't get Jamaica, unfortunately, because of the time we took in the car crash and the family who wanted to have immaculate looking children. We didn't get time to go to Jamaica, so that's for another time.
That's right. We'll just have to plan another trip.
Absolutely. There was a little bit of Disney magic going on because we got involved with pixie dusting.
Yes, that was such a fun experience. You may not ever see the people that you're giving these little gifts to, but it's nice knowing that you're making some other person happy,
Yeah, because I got quite involved in our Facebook group, and through a very long story, I ended up being one of the admins. So I posted every day info and top tips and facts about the ship, facts about places we were going to go and visit. And, well, I think Anthony got a little bit hysterically funny about what happened while I was on the cruise.
She was a celebrity, guys. A celebrity.
We literally couldn't go anywhere without someone saying, "You're the Facebook lady, aren't you?" And I'm like, what? It was so funny.
At least, twice, maybe 3 times a day? Yeah.
It was so funny. It really was. "You're the lady from the Facebook group. Oh, thank you for doing this." And it just got so silly because we were in the pool one day, and we were sat there, and one lady on the right in the pool came and said, "Oh, you're the Facebook lady." And then a lady on the left came up, "You're the Facebook lady." It was just hysterical. We were just drowning in laughter over it all. It was so good.
Yes. But it also shows that, that role was very helpful for people. So
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I'm no expert, but at least I know a little bit about. And there were some people on the cruise that, had never been on a Disney cruise, never been on a cruise ship. So it was nice to be able to help them, pre-planning.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now the big question is would you ever consider a Disney cruise experience again?
Okay. Yes. It is a nice treat for a special occasion. Like you and I, we hadn't seen each other in 6 years?
Yeah.
We counted. Or like a big event, someone's graduation, it's a marriage. But for the price point, I don't know that it will be my primary form of cruising. For me as a single guy, I don't have kids. I don't know that price point is something that makes it the right choice for me for every cruise. I know the service is wonderful. The dining is great. The entertainment's wonderful. I think each person has to consider kind of how they're going to spend the majority of their trip and their time. But yes, I will do it again. But would I do it next year? Maybe not.
Okay. I think I'm pretty much on the same sort of page as you, that it's not going to be my go-to cruise line if it's a place I just want to go to because of the destination. But for a staycation cruise where I never get off the ship, oh yeah, absolutely. Because there's just so much to do. And we haven't even touched on the theatres, meeting the characters, the movie theatre, the children's club, meeting characters, all of those good things as well.
Yes. It is amazing how many characters they actually do get on the ship. I was expecting, 7, 8, but no, like you have Marvel characters. You've got, of course, all your classic characters. You've got your princesses. You've got some villains. You've got your pirates. It was really impressive, the range of characters they had.
And each one had different outfits.
Oh, yes. I mean, I saw at least 4 for Mickey.
Yeah.
I think 4 or 5. Yeah. That was very impressive. Yeah.
But I think I'm just going to end the show on one top piece of information, that Anthony was able to track down multiple times Princess Tiana.
And she recognized me too by the end, guys. She would always give me a little wave, even if I didn't go over and see her.
And I think that's the good thing because, Tiana really had a soft spot for Anthony. I think she really secretly liked him.
Well, I mean, if Naveen ever messes up, I'll be right there to take his place.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Anthony, to talk a little bit about our cruise experience. I think we're going to hop on over to our Patreon page and do a further Disney Cruise Line chat about some of the other bits and pieces we did. So if you want to hear more, patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls. We will post some pictures and bits and bobs on our website, disneydreamgirls.com, as well as on Instagram and Twitter @DisDreamGirls. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me.